Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. Peace be with you. I'm Huda Alkaff, founder and director of Wisconsin Green Muslims. And thank you, everyone, for joining us in this Wisconsin Faith and Solar webinar. So we're glad to have our presenter here, Reverend Dr. Lisa Bates-Froiland.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for being a part of this on this beautiful afternoon. I can only imagine how well our solar panels are doing at this very moment at Redeemer Lutheran Church. We are on Wisconsin Avenue, right next to Marquette University. So a couple of pictures there of the outside and the inside of the 1917 portion of the structure. Redeemer Lutheran is the first exclusively English-speaking Lutheran church in the state of Wisconsin. And back in 1917, that was a move of diversity and inclusion, believe it or not, because before that time, most Lutherans stayed in their ethnic enclaves and spoke and sang in those languages. It's not lost on this audience, so I don't need to make a big case for this, that all people of faith recognize a higher power as our creator, and that as people of faith, then we have been given the responsibility to be stewards of creation and to take good care of our created world. We are a community of faith that is grounded in place, that corner of 19th and Wisconsin Avenue, so we feel as if we have a special duty to be good stewards from that location. And so we looked at what a number of our choices were. We've installed rain barrels where possible and a storm garden. The picture of the plants that you see there are from a rooftop garden where we do herbs and flowers up there, and also bees, and that's what you see in the other corner. We've had bee colonies on that rooftop garden since 2015. Mostly for education and an advocacy for those vital pollinators. We do make a little bit of honey and a few other bee-related products too. We dip candles from time to time. It's been a great congregational activity. We do not use chemicals throughout our lawns and gardens. But then we thought solar energy was a next place that we could go with being good stewards of the earth. Annually, I've served there 9 years, so over 7 years you get a good running average. We were paying about $23,000 a year in energy. We contacted Focus on Energy about an energy audit. We changed whatever bulbs we could change throughout the building. We installed an energy efficient boiler when ours died about 5 years ago. But yet that wasn't really moving the needle very much on our energy output and our bottom line bills. And then we met Trevor Sumner, who is the owner and founder of Sun Badger Solar. How did we meet him? Well, he married Redeemer's director of music. So then we got to know much more about solar, and there's that beautiful couple. And pretty soon we were getting a presentation on what it would mean to install and use solar panels at Redeemer. So you see a picture of our array. It's behind the 1917 sanctuary, 68 panels. We decided not to install on the area to the west there because there may be some new construction. You also see in that picture in the upper left the rooftop garden that I was just speaking about a little while ago. So that was the array that we went with. Trevor estimated that we would then be able to get 53% of our energy from solar power. And everybody always wants to know, how much does it cost to do this? It happened to be, the price tag was about $68,000 for installation. And then Sun Badger actually helped us secure these 2 grants. We did receive a Renew Wisconsin Solar for Good grant in the amount of $15,000. We also received $14,000 in a RECIP Focus on Energy grant, which left us with $39,000 to raise as a congregation. And the projections were that over 25 years, we would recoup a savings of $129,000 for a 30% return on that initial investment. The steps for us were really quite simple. We signed an agreement. We looked at the finalized system design. Electricians were in, installers were in. The system was installed over the late summer. We waited on the inspections, but they arrived. And at that point, we were given the go-ahead for the system to be operational. We learned that we would be saving, we would be keeping 581 tons of coal and not having that amount of energy being spent. That would be the equivalent of driving a car that many miles. It would save 686 acres of forest. And here's the installers themselves. I went up on the rooftop that day to take pictures of it being installed. Do you see the little hand over one of the panels there? That gentleman was not wearing a shirt that day, so I did not include his picture in this presentation, but you can see what it looked like from up there. I love the contrast between the modern solar panels and the old brick of the original construction. Then we had a dedication day, October 17th, 2019. I cannot even tell you how long ago that feels, given everything that has transpired since then. But we had our musician on hand. You'll never guess what he's saying. He's saying, "Here comes the sun." We had a bunch of people who came out. We shared some scripture and some prayer and some singing. And Lieutenant Governor, can you see him? I don't know where your pictures are of your gallery, but it is the Lieutenant Governor. Mandela Barnes came by to snip the ribbon for us, and he went all the way on the rooftop with us as well. Here is what things look like now comparatively on those energy bills from one year to the next. And I think the best 2 months to really look at are probably January and February. December in a Lutheran church is a high activity month, so the differential isn't that great. But January and February were pretty standard for our operatings. And you can see that amount of savings just month to month to get that extra $200. And then, as I'm sure those of you in other faith communities have noticed, my goodness, when your building is closed, then things go way down. And in fact, in May, we saw the bill and we had contributed back $15.68 to the grid, a combination of the solar panels work and our lack of use in the building. We are monitored by Solar Edge. We love this tool so that we can take a look. This is only a screenshot, so you can't interact with it. You can see that I put this together at night. That's why it says current power 0. I think at this point in time, it's probably much higher than that. But it's wonderful for myself or for other members of the green team to be able to take a look at this anytime we want and see how things are going. There's our beekeeper on the roof the day of dedication and our solar panels. But that's really as much of the story as I think will share right now. I'm open to questions later. For our congregation, it just tends to be a group of people who are already very environmentally minded. So it wasn't a tough sell. Trevor came and made a presentation to the congregation. The concerns were over the condition of the roof and whether installing solar panels might be deleterious to the roof itself. There was some concern over the amount of money up front compared to what would be saved over time. We got a clear demonstration that that would be very much a net positive for us. But in terms of being stewards of the earth and trying to power our congregation's ministry with the sun, that was pretty easy for people to get on board. So I appreciate your listening, and I'll leave it there for me. Thanks.
Right, thank you very much.